All right, morning everyone. Welcome to another episode of Market Trading. I'm your host, Tone Vays. Oh, where did my thing go? Let me make sure. Oh, there we go. Almost muted that right in time. Here it is. Wow, that was a great Pacific Bitcoin conference, I gotta say. I had a lot of fun. I missed it last year. I was happy to make it this year. And wearing one of the t-shirts I got from, let me see how far I can zoom out. Check this out. Awesome. This is the El Salvador volcano that is going to be powering an amazing Bitcoin mine. Shout out to Ms. Bitcoin for having amazing t-shirts over at the event. All right, let me see if I can I zoom this out one more? Almost. Let me see. Nope, wrong way. Almost. As far as I can go. Okay, cool. And let's go to the charts. A lot's happened. Let's go to the charts. Where are we here? Boom. Okay. Someone's, yeah. Yeah, sorry I was like 30 minutes late. I was on a production call for the event. The unconfiscatable event, which you see in the background behind me. Okay, let me make sure I'm streaming in high definition. Everything's working. Okay, I happen to be on the daily chart. We probably should start with the weekly chart. Let's go straight to the weekly chart. Here we are on the weekly chart. I don't understand why this candle still hasn't properly reset. This makes no sense at all. There's no gaps in Bitcoin. There's something wrong with this particular weekly candle. Something is off here. Hopefully, TradingView will correct the data error, and it will all be fixed the next time we look at this chart. We got rejected again by the moving averages, but the good news is the moving averages are having a little bit of distance between them. So when the moving averages have distance between them, it makes it easier to break them individually than trying to break both of them at the same time. You can see right here where both of them acted as support, and the price of Bitcoin was not able to break them both to the downside, and it bounced right off of the two of them. But eventually it broke both of them when there was some separation between them. The same thing is likely to happen again. Let's wait for a little more separation between them. There's not going to be much separation between them. You can see how they're about to move parallel, but there will be some separation between them, and that every little thing helps. Here's our allocation chart. We have been very, very patient. I know it's coming up on an MRI top coming in next candle. I don't really care for the MRI indicator on this particular chart. I care about it on all other charts. I more care about the moving average, the long-term moving average, our 30-period moving average on our allocation chart that we are just unable to break. So I will remain very patient. In a perfect world, we do pull back to that $27,000 area, a bounce off of it. Let me see here. The financial summit, let me mention that. It's 30 days away. 30 days away. Hey guys, I just spent like all day yesterday importing emails and stuff. Well, those of you that are watching this right now, you're aware of this conference is going on. I don't really send out email notifications, but I'm going to try and do that. So please keep an eye on your email, and also keep an eye on your spam folder over the next 48 hours. A lot of these emails tend to end up in spam unless you moved it from spam to your inbox, and then your email service kind of knows not to send these to spam. So please keep an eye on my emails. I'm going to send out one about the financial summit, one about unconfiscatable. The events are this year, but then next year I may send out, other announcements about free educational videos. I'll be doing a little bit more of those. And unconfiscatable is coming to Las Vegas. Okay, let's go to the charts. Today's a chart day. Once again, you have double moving average resistance at 28,000. And once again, it displayed its power by rejecting the price of Bitcoin. And we are not having a very good day. The additional military conflict of Palestine versus Israel is certainly not helping matters. I don't know if I want to get into the subject. The other half of my day was spent catching up on the subject. It is important. It is critical. How important is it to the stock market? We can discuss that. Again, it's important to know what's going on in geopolitics and global wars for those that are trading in the markets. And if you thought Russia-Ukraine was a passionate subject, Israel-Palestine is 10 times that. And even discussing it is going to be tricky. But unlike the Russia-Ukraine situation, where the social media and the public picked a side at 98% to 2%, 98% in support of Ukraine and maybe 2% in support of Russia, the Israel-Palestine conflict globally is actually going to be 50-50. You already see it in America is 50-50 with equal size protests on both sides. So this is going to be a super controversial topic. And if there was one global topic that's going to make people forget about the Russia-Ukraine situation, it is literally this one. You can see Bitcoin drops. I have not looked at the stock market yet. I was on a work call this morning. You see gold spiked. Wow, look at that. So we've been expecting gold to rise. I've been expecting gold to rise. We had a daily MRI on gold. I expected us to rally off of this MRI. I was a little disappointed that we made it all the way into a red star candle, making new lows. And bam, here comes the reversal. And yes, a global conflict like in the Middle East, like what's happening, certainly is going to be a boost to gold. I'm assuming the S&P is struggling this morning. Let's go and find out. The S&P is struggling a bit, but not like Bitcoin is struggling. And once again, I think that there is a high probability that the stock market has found a low. I've been saying for an entire month that October is when prices bottom. I was right on saying this last year when we rallied right off of the October low, and it is very likely that the bottom will be found in October. Now, October still has like 20 days to go. So I don't know if this is the low for October, but I will place the bet that the market will bottom in October, and most likely this has already happened. We will know for sure if the price of the S&P goes above 44.20. Until it goes above 44.20 or October has ended, it's impossible to know whether the bottom is in. I think there is a greater than 50% chance that the bottom is in, but it's not significantly greater than 50%. Let's go back to Bitcoin here. The daily chart of Bitcoin is not looking good. We are now forming a daily channel. However, the 50-period moving average is rising, and that is a good sign. So what happens in a perfect world? Well, in a perfect world, I don't really have a squiggly line here. I should add that. Hold on. How do I add a squiggly line? I guess curve. Let's add that in. Why not? So, yeah, I guess it'll be a curve. As I can move it around, right? So, okay, cool. So, as this moving average rises, it would be nice for the price to move into it slowly and then bounce off of it to the upside. So continue to consolidate for the rest of the month and then break out with a vengeance above it. Something similar to this downward move, only upside down, or this downward move, but only upside down. If I have to go back further to find the horizontal move that breaks out. So maybe something like this that allows the moving averages to catch up to it. Not exactly a great example. Maybe something like this, where we have that final drop down and then boom, rally right after moving averages. Either way, the more this consolidates around 28,000, the more confident I get that 28,000 will be broken to the upside, and 27 or 26,000 would not be broken to the downside. The box remains. This box will probably remain until the end of the year. But going into next year, I'm not going to be expecting a price move to 23 if we make it out of this year. So this is a short temporary. You will not see this box out in 2024 unless we have already made it down into this area. If the price of Bitcoin remains at 28 or higher going into January, I will not be anticipating moves down to 23. All right, let's go. Let's see what's going on the economic front. The CPI numbers, I believe, come out on Thursday, actually. That is a big. That's going to be a big number, right? Like that's huge. The PPI numbers will come out on Wednesday. CPI is probably more important. They're both important. And the Fed, this will probably be the primary metric that the Fed will use in order to raise or not raise rates. We had an amazing Twitter space last night, guys. Let's go over to Twitter. Let's go to my profile. We had an incredible Twitter space yesterday with Larry Lepard, Joe Colasari. Strongly recommend you listen to the space. It was over 2 hours long. We had several guests. We went into super interesting topics. Check it out. Check out the Twitter space. Let's see that GBTC discount. I'm really curious what's going on here. As you can see, GBTC discount is making a new high. That is great news. That is great news. It's kind of like the CMF indicator on a daily scale. If we look at the CMF, you see how the CMF is falling? It's a combination of price and volume. But I'm super encouraged every time I see we'll get to that in a minute. Every time I see the GBTC discount trend towards zero, that means people are buying Bitcoin. GBTC is a de facto ETF. The Bitcoin doesn't need a spot ETF. It kind of has GBTC. It is shitty managed. I will agree with that. But it serves the same exact function as a spot ETF. There is very little difference. There's very little difference. Okay. They are way more similar. Okay. To each other. Like as an analogy, it's like men and women are a lot more similar to each other than they are different. Okay, like genetically, and like we're different than other animals, right? So it's the same thing. There is like they have a GBTC and a spot ETF that everyone is trying to launch. They're going to be 99.8% similar. They're almost identical, right? And when this discount is trending towards zero, it's telling me that people are buying an ETF of Bitcoin, which is bullish for Bitcoin. And eventually, there'll be massive demand when the price rises, and this thing will fly right to zero and probably into positive territory. Here we go. Natural gas. Natural gas is likely hitting an MRI top. Well, likely hitting a top. This is a clean MRI top. It's already shown you a reversal candle. The price of natural gas has skyrocketed. I'm not even going to use the gap because the gap had to do with contract flipping. But right here, since the contract flip in late September, natural gas is up 20%. It's up 20% in a week and a half. That is huge. And I think it's going to pull back, maybe not even that much anymore. Now we have support a lot earlier than this trend line. And going into the winter, it'll probably get more expensive. So those of you that have profited from the natural gas trade may want to take some of that profit. What about oil? Let's see. Conflict in the Middle East raised the price of oil a bit. I still don't understand what the hell happened. Maybe somebody knew something was going to happen. That's my only explanation. I don't know what the hell happened here. Maybe some we can speculate, right? Maybe this was the Biden administration selling a bunch of strategic petroleum reserve in order to, I don't know, send it to Israel or something. I have no idea because they're going to need a lot of oil for the war effort. I don't know. Maybe it was a major refinery. Maybe it was a major oil producer saying, hey, we're about to go to war in the Middle East and we don't want our oil blown up. Maybe we need to sell it at a discount. Like, I have no idea what happened here, but something happened here. This candle was so out of whack. And hindsight is 2020 because this candle was so out of whack. I mean, it wasn't that out of whack. I mean, we had other candles that were out of whack. But this candle, you guys watched my channel the other day. This was absolutely out of nowhere last week, and especially on a single day last week, right at the end of last week. Somebody knew something. Somebody probably knew something was coming. And maybe you would think that the right move would be to buy oil, like what happened right here after the conflict. But in this case, somebody needed to dump some oil. Maybe somebody knew something, maybe somebody didn't. I don't know. This candle was out of whack, and the market is correcting itself. I am bullish on oil prices, and but I am curious to see what happened last week with the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Simon, thank you so much. Simon writes, I've been using MRI for only a week, and I can tell you it's a monster. Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, gold. I already slightly covered gold. Again, in times of uncertainty, people will hoard gold. In time of a financial collapse, people have to sell gold to feed their family. But right now, this is more time of uncertainty. It's not that the Palestinians have any gold to sell, and the Israelis don't have enough for the global scale, to drop the price of gold. There's just not that many of them, and the country's not that big. So in times of uncertainty of people in other countries, people in Europe, people in Asia, they don't know how badly this Middle East situation is going to get. And what they do is they hoard wealth, and gold is one of those instruments. So I am now becoming bullish on gold, and it reversed almost perfectly with the MRI. Stock market, I covered it as well. We're already rallying a little bit. Is the Middle East situation good or bad for stocks? Hard question. I mean, it's probably it shouldn't crash the stock market. Let me put it this way. I'm going to use my words carefully here. The military conflict in the Middle East, which I think is going to escalate to crazy levels, will probably end up rallying the stock market in the United States, because once again, if you are near the Middle East, you don't know where this is gonna go. Turkey is not far, Greece is not far, Eastern Europe's not far, and people are gonna want to protect their money, sending it into the American stock market. What's next, right? We now had Azerbaijan, Armenia. We are still in the middle of Russia, Ukraine. We're now in Israel versus Palestine, which is going to become, Judaism versus Islam. And it's going to be, where is it going to spread? What's next? Is Western Europe going to, go at it again? Like, we'll see. Where is this going to go? We don't know. Asia, all that money is going to fly into the United States, because where else is the money going to go? China, Taiwan could escalate, right? China, Vietnam, China, Philippines. This is what happens when American NGOs get to select the leader of Thailand and the leader of the Philippines, right? There is now going to be conflict between Thailand, and China, Philippines and China, right? If American NGOs, replace the government of Vietnam, it's going to be Vietnam versus China, right? It can escalate. Mongolia doesn't have enough people, otherwise they would screw up over there too. And so where's the wealth going to go? The wealth's going to go to America. No one is invading the United States. It's just geographically strategic. And we all have guns. So a lot of wealth is going to go to America, and the stock market is going to benefit. This is the bond market. I've been waiting for the bond market to have a little bit of a rebound short term. I'm still bearish on the bond market as interest rates are going to go higher. Someone is asking me for BNB token. Let's go and take a look at our shitcoins. BNB looks very, very bad. It had that's a monthly. I'm on a month. Well, wait, let's go. Oh, should go back to the bond market. BNB looks very ugly on a weekly scale, but it'll probably hit an MRI buy and, have a little bit of a dead cat bounce. And on a daily scale, it's probably on an MRI buy somewhere now. Let me see. Waiting for the indicator. Yep, right there. It was yesterday. So I would wait. I wouldn't be shorting it yet. I think it's due for a little bit of a rally. Maybe if it gets a red star candle tomorrow, it can go into a second consecutive MRI. Like, I would not be shorting BNB right now. I'd rather short it next year. I would love to see it, consolidate here and then break down with a vengeance. I am obviously bearish on BNB token. I think Binance is in trouble from all angles, including specifically regulatory. Keep an eye on Ethereum as well. Ethereum looks like crap. Had a horrible candle last week. You can even see my arrows. You can see them right there. Wow, did I nail that one? That was pretty good call. MRI buy right into an MRI sell. And guess what? You have an MRI buy tomorrow. So it can certainly rally off the MRI buy. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. This is a nasty downward sloping trend line. We are actually lower than we even should be. Ethereum's looking bad. When in doubt, zoom out. And Ethereum's a lot more bearish than I thought it would be at this point in time. However, shit's not going to hit the fan until it goes below 0.053. All right, enough shitcoining. Our GoPro. Yeah, we've been following GoPro. Did I add it to my list? Whoa, I really thought GoPro had a shot off the that weekly MRI buy, but it never indicated any real strength. Now, had I bought on this candle, we have a monthly MRI buy that was preceded by a weekly MRI buy and a daily MRI buy. GoPro looked great. Now, would I have taken the bullish trade on October 3rd? Yeah, possibly. If I was an active trader right now, I would have taken the long trade. How would that trade have worked out? Well, not well. I would have taken my long position somewhere in the middle of that day. Where would my stop loss have been? Well, my stop loss would have been at the lows of that candle, right around there. Where would my anticipated profit be? I don't like to pre-guess profit. It would have been on some kind of an MRI indication or the moving average indication or some kind of a trailing stop. So that means I would have been stopped out on October 5th. October 5th, we are breaking the low of my entry day. We are setting new lows. We have a red star on the candle, and that would have been a 5-cent loss. This would have been hey, you could have bought 8 billion shares, right? And 5 cents is meaningful. It would have been a 1.65% drop for a 5-cent loss. This is almost like a penny stock trade. My entry would have been, at approximately $3.03. and my exit would have been at approximately $2.97. I would have taken the stop loss. So what do we do now? By the way, all of this is explained in the Tone Vays products and services on-demand videos. This is my position risk management, risk and position management. I explain my risk loss and risk strategies for that. That's what those videos are for. And what would I do now? Well, I would have been encouraged by this reversal gravestone doji, but it never followed through today. So a bullish trade would never have been activated. I would wait for another daily MRI buy, and that daily MRI buy would come in the middle of a weekly bearish trend. So I may have to wait. Earnings is coming up at the end of the month, early next month. So, I mean, there's only so much further down it can go. I wouldn't be buying it today, but I would be keeping an eye on that. I also added a few other stocks to the list recently. Let's see how they're doing. Here's one more. This was, I have no idea, some energy company. You can see the daily chart, MRI buy. We did have a red star candle, but it's consolidating. We have not yet broken the MRI support line. The question is, if I had bought right here on this day with a rally on the 18th of September, sorry, this week on the 18th of September, would I have been stopped out? The answer is yes, I would. I would also be stopped out of this trade. On a daily scale, was there a chance at some profit? Well, my buying probably would have come right here on the 25th of August off the monthly MRI buy. Maybe I would have waited for the weekly. So I could have had two shots at it. Now, let's assume, again, a lesson in how Tone Vays trades. Now, what would happen? Well, my initial entry would have been somewhere on this day, on August 25th. We have a extension A, MRI buy, and a monthly MRI buy. I'd be buying it somewhere in the middle of that candle. And where will my stop loss be? Well, my stop loss would be the swing low of that candle. Now, what would my targets be? Well, my initial target would be somewhere at the moving average. That's the first area of resistance. But here's the good news, and I can't do it with this one, right? One of my rules, and I'm like basically giving away my entire course to you guys right now, is I calculate what my risk is. My risk would have been somewhere like this. And I avoid round numbers, right? So my risk would have been, what is that? $3. Let's say my risk would be exactly $3, right? So that means the moment I'm profitable $3, I have to raise my stop loss to break even. And you can see how not only was I profitable $3 without putting my trade in jeopardy, I would have been profitable $6. So the moment I'm profitable $6, of course, I'm raising my stop loss. This is called an expanded range candle. My stop loss would go right below the middle of that candle. So that means I would have been stopped out of this trade on August 31st. But that also means I would have made money on the trade. I would have profited about $4 a share. Now, this is $123 a share. I'm profiting $4. I profited 3% on the trade. Now, if I do this with options, it depends on what the implied volatility does, right? So there's multiple ways to do it. I could have done with options. I could have just bought, 100 shares. If I bought 100 shares, I made $40, $4 a share. After commissions, I make $35. Is it a lot of money? No, right? But it's a profitable trade. Probably could have bought 1,000 shares, right? It depends how big your account is. On 1,000 shares, you made $400 in about what, 3 days, 4 days? That's not bad. But you do have to invest $1,000 into this trade, which is why trading is for people with money. They are not scared to lose. 1,000 shares, $100 stock. That's $100 grand. That's nothing to sneeze at. Into the trade, which is why I liked options trading. Either way, this was definitely had profit potential. Now over here also had profit potential if you bought it perfectly. I don't know if I would have, but right now I would not be in this trade. I would be patiently waiting for a breakout. All right, I think I'm going off on tangents here. Rumble is looking good, guys. I actually have to get to work. Yeah, 2% max risk per trade. That's a good strategy. Is my sound the problem? I'm using the proper mics. I mean, I'm gonna end the video, so it doesn't really matter. I'm using the mic. I can switch to the camera mic, which I know sucks, and I can switch to Rhodes. Hopefully it's better. All right, I got nothing else. I don't know if I'm ready to discuss Russia Ukraine only because I'm just too busy to like I've kept up with the situation. Whoa, that's a big rebound. Oh, that's gold. That's right. Whoa, what is this? Look at that. Look at the euro. Oh man, we tweeted this out. What a perfect buy in the euro right there. The top in the dollar. We've been covering the currency trade. The euro dollar daily rebounded absolutely perfectly off the MRI buy. Look at that. Rig. Rig. I think I have rig. Rig daily, nothing interesting. Rig weekly, leaning bearish. Oh, red star right there. And rig monthly, looking neutral. I would not be trading rig. I don't see a trade there. Instacart. Oh, beautiful. We're waiting for our 50% correction off the IPO. Where are we at? We're at 42%. We're close. We are very, very close. After a 50% correction of IPO, it becomes a potential buying opportunity. I'm not saying potential. You still need a bullish setup. Yeah, energy companies are gonna rally off of the Middle East situation. How's DraftKings doing? Basketball season is about to start. I'm actually really interested in this basketball season. Man, there are so many good teams this year. It's going to be great. It's a lot of parity. Well, it's like top heavy, but I'm actually looking forward to the NBA season. I don't know when I'm going to have time to watch it. Whoa, I had no idea Groupon came back from the dead. Wow. Wow, Groupon really came back from the dead. Holy shit. See, this is kind of rare. Look at that. See, you had a beautiful daily MRI buy, and then it gets rejected, and then it makes new lows. And right here, I am as bearish as one gets, but it's too cheap of a stock to short. And here you had a weekly MRI buy. Oh, it was extension C and B on a weekly chart. Okay, I would have been careful. I would have been cautious. Extension B and C, I mean, A, I don't really care for, but extensions B and C are useful. And it was coming off a good earnings day. So while from a chart perspective, I would have been bearish right here on the red star candle, the B and C completion on the MRI had otherwise. Beautiful MRI top. We've pulled back, and Groupon is now very bullish. Looks good. On a monthly scale, it kind of rebounded in the middle of nowhere. Beautiful MRI top on a monthly here. And Groupon certainly did a 50% correction of the IPO, right? Here is the IPO. There is an 80% correction. And where does it end? Well, it ends on a reversal candle with an MRI buy. What a beautiful buying opportunity in Groupon back in 2013. And that rallies right into an MRI sell. That would have been a perfect trade. This is exactly what I'm looking for from Instacart. I mean, you have the blueprint right here. I mean, I don't know if it's going to fall 87% like Groupon did, but like, look, it crashed to 57 and then it rallied to 80, and buying it right here at 91 still was an incredible trade because it took you right into an MRI sell at 200. And this is how I love trading IPOs like this. Incredible. Another MRI top, another extension C. Talk about a stock that loves to follow extension Cs. All right, guys. This is it for me. We're gonna look at the Fed statistic on raising rates after the CPI. I think this should be closer to 50-50. If there's a surprise, raising the rates without expectation, the market will have a hissy fit and it will drop. All right, I need to get going. Thank you all for watching, guys. I will see you all on the next one. I'm not going to talk politics today, not today. Next year, next January, this might be a political channel. You're going to show up on like January 3rd. I'll do a stream for Bitcoin's birthday. And the next thing you know, you have to go to the Financial Summit YouTube channel in order to watch a market video. Just too much going on in the world, and it's super important. Oh, hey, Tube Dog. I'll come visit you in Baja again. You got to remind me, though. All right, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Let's see if we continue to consolidate the rest of the week and break out next week. Please check out the conferences, Unconfiscatable, and the Financial Summit. Only 30 days to go. We have 30 days to go for this incredible event. And the next one is at least a year away. So this is the time to join us and meet some amazing traders. Bye, guys.